Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball and Carlos Baseball. With me, as always, is Ernie Orange. There's not a World Series set yet. One of the teams already advanced, which is the Dodgers, but we're still waiting for the Mariners and Blue Jays. And Ernie's wearing the Blue Jays hat. Don't let that
Ready to
fool
go.
you. I don't know if he's still rooting for them or what's going on. What's going on over there, Ernie?
What's going on, everybody? We're excited to be back on this beautiful Sunday night. Just when everyone thought the Mariners had the series on lock, guess what? The Blue Jays came to play back at home to close out Game 6 and Game 7. We already know this was going to happen. Carlos, I can't believe a lot of people still expect the Mariners to win. I know the Mariners won 2 games on the road. This is baseball. Anything could happen. And that's the beauty of this game.
Yeah, you know what was crazy though for me is that the Mariners took 2 games in Toronto. They went home and they lost 2 in a row, and then they won this last one, so they got that momentum again, hitting that grand slam, winning it in fashion to where, like, okay, the Mariners have never been in the World Series. They come to Game 6 in Toronto, and Toronto was just loud, man, from the first pitch,
It,
and I just felt like maybe the Mariners were going to overcome that,
Not at
and they
all, man.
didn't, dude. They
These Canadians came to play. They knew
Yeah.
what was on the line. They knew their team was facing elimination. They were not about to be back down. And when you're a player, that brings some type of energy into you, man. You just want to ball out for your fans. And you already know you let them down a couple days ago, losing 2 back to back. You're not gonna have it's not gonna happen the third time around. And these Blue Jays today, man, they look spectacular offensively. They were just hitting everything that was going down the middle. Black Guerrero with his 6th home run in this postseason just been electrifying. One of the most top tier players we have in this game. And we got to give props to these other guys, the role players like Addison Barger coming in clutch today, Ernie Clement. And then
Your
also,
tocayo.
exactly, man, you got to root for the only Ernie in the league in the past 20 years. You got to give this guy props, man. He's been there making some clutch hitting. And with 2 strikes, 2 outs, doesn't matter. They bring them these runs in. And big props to Just Savage today. Wow, what an impressive outing today. When he got into trouble in the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning, it didn't seem to bother him. He still continued to throw his pitches, and his command was able to get out some significant innings due to this great defensive Blue Jays team. But, man, what's going on with your Mariners? I know you said they were going to win, but they've just been so inconsistent for me. I just can't trust this team. There's curse or something. I don't know, man. Everybody just has the Mariners going all the way, and every time you think they're going to do it, they don't. So what's up with the Mariners out there?
Dude, I honestly feel like the Mariners are cursed, man. They start playing good baseball and then they start, they go home. You're thinking, okay, everything's momentum, everything's going good for them, and then they don't show up for 2 games. And the third game, in the 7th and 8th inning, they start stepping up and they hit that grand slam. Suarez hit that grand slam, and we're like, damn, this is finally the Mariner team that we've been talking about during the season, and we've been talking about these guys needed to go make these big trades, and this is the product that we have out there, but it's still super inconsistent. You have base running errors, which happened today. You had a long single. You have Crawford standing on first base, and then Rivas hit a freaking shot off the wall. And it was only a freaking single. He did not advance to third base, and that cost him, because now you have men on first and second instead of having men on first and third, and you possibly can score more runs that way. But I don't know. I just feel like the Mariners are not clicking the way they should be clicking. Maybe they just got a little too scared from the crowd, because that happens with baseball players. They don't, they don't rep it up all the way like they're supposed to. They don't freaking get into their baseball mode until, like, they get used to the noise, they get used to what's going on in their surroundings. And this is new to all this team, dude. They're young. Julio Rodriguez is young. Where is he? Like, he shows up one game and the next he doesn't. Suarez with an error today. That gave a momentum to the Blue Jays. And little things like that doesn't help, dude. 3 double plays with bases loaded, it doesn't help, dude. They had 2 double plays with bases loaded, and then one with a little momentum going. They still got a double play. So I honestly don't don't want to talk bad about the Mariners, but they need to get it together, dude. They got
All
one
right,
more game tomorrow, and we'll
let's
see
be
what
real.
happens.
Let's be real. Did you think the Mariners are going to win today?
Today, I honestly did. I honestly did.
You're not the only one. Everybody I talked about baseball today was just like, yeah, the Mariners are taking it. And I was like, why the heck are you doubting these Blue Jays team at home? They have the crowd right behind them. And like you said, this Mariners team has been a bit inconsistent. It's a star-studded lineup that has the all power in the front of the lineup. It just seems that they can't get it together all at once. It's either one guy just shows up or the others don't. And today
Yeah.
was a perfect example. I mean, you got Naylor's the only guy that hit a home run out when it was already a 5-0 lead. Other than that, I mean, I feel like nobody's showing up. The bottom of the lineup is nowhere to be found. And like you said, little crucial small errors like that is just costing his team. The pitching, I mean, it's doing as best as it can, but it hasn't been that lights out Mariners pitching that we have seen in the past. I mean, just George Kirby, game 3 was a guy that was expected to go all out and, blow out this Blue Jays lineup. No, he couldn't. He was, he got rocked out there. And then Brian Wood, their most consistent pitcher all year round, has been dealing with this nagging injury that just can't seem to figure it out. He's not even being your starter right now. And it's kind of like, man, this guy would have been the perfect Game 7 starter. Now you're wondering if Dan Wilson can't really trust him to put the ball in his hands to close out this crucial Game 7. And I feel like they've been depending on Bryce Miller out of all their starting pitchers. He was their weakest pitcher this year. Somehow he had a great matchup recently, and then it just seems like, okay, he's a guy, and it's like, no, how are you going to put every time the batters get to see him the second, third time around, they're just crushing this ball. So I'm not sure if I could really trust his pitching now. The bullpen is kind of inconsistent too for me. Bazardo eats up innings. Andre Munoz, when it comes to closing, does a great job, but the other guys, it's hard to trust them. And also the Blue Jays have also been bad with their bullpen, and this is why these teams have been flopping back and forth. Don't really know what team's going to show up. It depends how the bullpen does. So this Game 7, man, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited. This is what we all want as baseball fans. Game 7 championship series. What else can we really ask for as baseball fans? Now, I want to ask you this. Who are you predicting to win Game 7 of this ALCS? Do you have the Mariners or Blue Jays? Do you want to change your mind? I know you had the Mariners, but I know you thought they had it in the bag, but they really don't. It's going to be a tough matchup, Game 7 in Toronto in the Rogers Center. I don't know if this Mariners team could take it, but you're going Mariners, right?
Well, I'm not changing my mind only because like the inconsistency is still there, man. The consistency is more for the Mariners, I see, and they're not home team. So they don't really have a lot to lose because they're not at home. I just feel that when you have that mentality and you're going to go to Game 7 and you're going to go throw George Kirby, which sounds like he's going to be the Game 7 starter, and then you have other starters on deck ready to go, from what I'm hearing from the Mariners. So they want to win all out. They want to make it to the first World Series, and they want to make sure that they, do whatever they can to get there. Now, I don't want to change my mind. I don't want to be flipping and flop. I do see the Blue Jays. They have that momentum. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is key to this whole Blue Jays lineup, because if he gets it going, I think they'll be okay. I think I saw today that if the 7, 8, and 9 hitter get on base, the Blue Jays are in perfect shape, which they have been doing. They've been hitting 393 in this playoff season, dude. Man, they're incredible. The ones that are doing all the freaking runs. And then the Mariners, if your first 3 are not doing anything, the rest of the team is not batting. They're at 1.73. That's awful in the playoffs. And that inconsistency is still there, but I still believe in this Mariners team. And I still believe that they can go ahead and do it. They do have the pitching. And I mean, dude, we've been talking about their pitching all year long, so if we go ahead and say and change and I change my mind, it's going to be like, this guy doesn't know, it doesn't stick to what he said, so I'm sticking to it.
I mean, this Mariners team's going to bring everything they got possible. Like you said, I'm pretty sure they're going to start with their guy. Brian Wood will come into the bullpen after George Kirby goes five or six strong, bring in Brian Wood. And then if they have to go to Luis Castillo, they're going to do exactly what they have to do to win this game. Now, it's going to depend on this Blue Jays team, because this Blue Jays team has been really hot here and there. Can they really play the same way they did at Game 6? Because that's going to be really important. This Blue Jays team is a bit banged up, guys. George Springer did not look his best today. I mean, he did get hit with a pitch on Game 5 on his kneecap. It looked really painful. Looks like it was bothering him a little bit today, but he was strong enough to still play it out today. Anthony Santander, a guy they paid for 5 years, $80 million or probably less, but this guy got paid his bag, and he's not been healthy all season. And now he's out of the playoffs. Bo Bichette, their star guy who had the most hits in their lineup this year, also not in the lineup. Makes you wonder, had they had their whole roster together, how dangerous this Blue Jays team would have been, and Mariners would have not stood a chance.
Yeah, yeah, because you're even looking at players like Kyle Riley, like he didn't get on base today. He struck out 2 times, I believe. And dude, you're looking at these type of players and you're saying, okay, this is my MVP. I'm looking at him getting a base hit or starting something, and he didn't come through. Julio Rodriguez was another one. He didn't get through. He didn't hit the ball, and he looks completely lost in the plate, dude. You're looking at Eugenio Suarez. He hit a home run this last game, and then today, what he do? Nothing. He did that error. That error cost him a lot, man. And when these players are not showing up, like I said, it cost us games, and this is what happened today. And like it's just crazy, dude. The fans, that 10th player, we said this, that 10th player, which are the fans, gets to a player, dude. And I just feel like the Blue Jays do have the edge, but the Mariners don't have anything to lose here. They have to go all out, and I'm still picking them. I'm still going to stick with
You
them.
sure
So
they have nothing to lose? I mean, their whole franchise has been waiting for this one opportunity, Carlos, to make it to the World Series. That one single time, they've been waiting for years, man. We're talking about since 1977. My boy Colin Coward from Fox the Herd has been waiting his whole life to see his Mariners in the World Series. Imagine that. You as a Dodger fan get to see it every year. What kind of lucky guy are you, man? Let me just say, you're blessed,
dude,
man. But
we're living in an era that, like, yeah, I get to experience my team making it to the World Series. You're right. I do get to experience them going to the playoffs. You're right. So it's easy for me to say they have nothing to lose, right? So it's not fair, but at the same time, it is kind of fair because, like, at the same time, the Blue Jays should have not swept, but they should have ran through this Mariners team from what I'm seeing,
right.
because they have the lineup, they have that pitching, but it's just that lineup that they have. They can score a lot of runs. And you're looking at the Mariners, they went into the playoffs anemically, like not scoring any runs, you know? So I just feel like maybe the mindset for the Mariners is like, I know we have the pressure from our fans to make it to the first World Series ever in franchise history, but at the same time they got to be like, hey, it's another game. I got to go ahead and step up today, and we got to show out. We got to win this game. Which, dude, I said it the last show too. It's kind of conflicting because I'm like, okay, the Blue Jays have a good team, the Mariners have a good team. Like, who do I pick? Who do I pick? And it's hard to pick, dude. But I'm still
I mean,
sticking to the Mariners.
and we've been talking about this Mariners team being so inconsistent all postseason run. I mean, look at the Tiger series. They were supposed to cruise through that one. They ended up winning a game 5, 15 innings at the game 5 to win this series. They were so tired and worn out. You were expecting the Blue Jays to just come in there and beat the heck out of them. They didn't. Unfortunately, the Blue Jays are dealing with a bit of nagging injuries, and their bullpen hasn't been that great. And baseball bullpens matter. Ask the Dodgers
Yeah.
last year. That was an important reason why they won. Now, this year, the reason why I'm giving the edge to the Blue Jays in this game 7 tomorrow, if I had to choose a one star-studded player to put my money on, that is Vladdy Guerrero Jr. He's not scared of the moment. He's always ready to go. It feels like he's never under pressure given the amount of pressure he's in. Most guys will choke. Ask Aaron Judge. I'm just kidding. I mean, this year he played much better, but previous years, Aaron Judge would have struggled there. Vladimir Guerrero's not afraid of this moment. It feels like he's been there before. It feels like he's lived there through his dad's moments. This guy is spectacular, and where the heck, Aaron Judge? Where'd he come from? What the hell?
Don't talk bad about him. Don't talk bad about him.
Let me see it one more time. I want to see his teeth. Hold on.
I got this
man,
for like $2, $3. I'm like, let me get him, man. Aaron Judge can come on the show whenever he wants. So don't talk bad about him.
Oh my god!
Sorry, man. Didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
We got Genesis saying in the comments, before the veneers. Oh my god! Come,
he has veneers. What the? He has
Hey, we're passionate about Aaron Judge, man. He's living his best life in Cancun right now, man. Let him have his fun right now. But talking about Vladdy, man, if I had to put my money in a player, Vladdy's a guy. And unfortunately, the past game 3 and 4, the Mariners were finally intentionally walking him. They knew what they had to do to stop him. This game today, they had no other option but to pitch to him because there was a guy on base most of the time today. So the Blue Jays just have to get on base, put that pressure on the pitching. But we have an exciting pitching matchup. I think game 7 tomorrow, we're going to have Shane Bieber, who had not a perfect outing, but a great outing against his Mariners team. He went 6 innings strong, gave up about 2 runs, had a spectacular outing, given that he was coming back from injury this year. And,
Yeah.
the Blue Jays did go for him in the trade deadline, and it was like a pretty big pickup for them. So we're going to see how he delivers for this Blue Jays team. They really hope to get a lot of innings from him. But the Blue Jays also have other arms. They got Max Scherzer, an experienced 41-year-old guy that still has some nasty stuff in the tank. And, they got Chris Bassett also with a funky delivery. So whatever happens, no matter how bad of a lead you get to start the game, as long as you bring the next pitcher up that could eat up innings and could throw zeros, that's the most important thing for this Game 7. Because even if your starter gives up 5 runs in the first inning, that doesn't mean you're done. You got to just continue to pitch. The bullpen got to come in and just throw some heat and gas and make sure these batters are full. Because this Mariners team, when they get hot, they are dangerous. So that's whoever gets the most momentum right now, it's going to be the most important for Game 7. But I'm excited, man. Are you watching this one tomorrow?
Definitely watching. I have to. It's one of those things that if there's a Game 8 or Game 9 because of whatever, they had to stop the game or there was cheating, whatever, I still have to watch. Why? Because I'm a baseball fan. Every baseball fan is going to watch this game, and it's going to be a really interesting one. Why? Because you already have one in the NL. They're waiting to see what's going to happen in this series. They're waiting to see if the Blue Jays win, the Dodgers travel to Toronto. If the Mariners win, the Mariners travel to Los Angeles. So that's going to be, something to watch for. The Dodgers are actually seeing those games and seeing who they're going to face so they can start, their stat cast and start doing all these little, scouting reports and everything that they do. But going back to Shane Bieber is 3-2 against the Mariners with a 2.39 ERA. So it's not a bad starter to go against the Mariners. What you said right now, if they score 5 runs, I don't think it's going to get that much into it. If they go ahead and score 2 runs, I'm giving them 2 runs. They're taking them out and they have options. They have a lot of options. They have their starters a little rested. So they'll be able to bring in Scherzer. Scherzer's another guy that's been pitching good against the Mariners. His ERA is a little bit more inflated than what Shane Bieber is, but they have options. And I think the Mariners don't. This is where I kind of felt like, damn, the Mariners don't have an edge here, but they still have to play their hardest, and they have to throw all their chips into the freaking bowl, and they have to go for it and try to go to the World Series, dude. But who is better suited, dude? If they get to go ahead.
No, I just feel like the MVP, Cal Raleigh, has to step up. They need something from their MVP. He has to deliver the big hit for them in order to win. That's what I want to throw out there.
Yeah. All right. So you're picking the Blue Jays. I'm picking the Mariners, and we're sticking to our guns. We're sticking to our picks. So who's better suited to go to the World Series and face the Dodgers? Remember, the Dodgers did sweep the best record in the National League with the Brewers, and everybody said that the Brewers were going to come out and play their hardest. And of course, why not, right? When you're looking at it on paper and you're saying, hey, all these players are with the Brewers. They're hungry. They're ready to go to the World Series. They're trying to do it for Bob Uecker. They're trying to get that spirit up. Their fandom is out there. And then you're looking at the Dodgers team. You're looking at the pen and pencil. And you're looking at that, man, this team is stacked. How is it gonna relate to the Dodgers losing that series? They won't be able to. The Brewers won't be able to beat them, and it did happen that way. But baseball is not about pen and pencil and looking at names and stuff like that. It happened to where the Dodgers did sweep them, and now they're waiting. But who is better suited? Is it the Toronto Blue Jays better suited, or the Mariners better suited to beat the Dodgers in your eyes?
Oh, well, I'm going with the Toronto Blue Jays right now. I feel like they're the heavily favored team right now. And I think all MLB fans are ready for that Drake Kendrick Lamar debate again. We're ready to see Toronto versus LA. Come on, man. We need to see Drake versus Kendrick go at it on Twitter one more time. That's what we really need in baseball. We need another rivalry. Why not? 2 teams that are blue repping for their city. We want to see. But I think the Blue Jays are the best suited team. Just the simple fact that they have the pitching, they have the hitting, and it's the only team that I could see put some pressure on this Dodger pitching, because this Dodger pitching right now has been electrifying, lights out. It seems like they have some nasty, unhittable stuff, and they're showing why there are true aces. I mean, this Dodgers team, was built to win in the free agency. Andrew Freeman went all out, and that's why a lot of fans were upset We didn't really see that in the regular season. I feel like they were just on cruise control, resting when they needed to, faking injuries if they had to. I mean, who cares? It's a long ass season. When
Yeah,
they're playing right when it really matters, the postseason. And I feel like these guys are right now unhittable. Yamamoto has some of the nastiest stuff I've ever seen. Shohei giving this incredible performance on game 4, man. That's like one of the top tier players. He's been doing it for the past 8-7 years. I'm surprised people are finally saying that he's the best player they've ever seen. He's been doing this for so long that I can't believe people are finally realizing this.
yeah,
I mean, I've seen him in the Angels uniform. I saw him in an everyday action, and I'm like, this guy is one of the best players ever. And I feel
yeah.
like I'm glad that the world is finally getting to see what's really going out there. But yeah, man, this Dodger team needs some competition. We really need to see a team that could bring in some pressure, and that is the Blue Jays. You know, with Bo Bichette coming back, hopefully for the World Series, I could bring some pressure out in short. And then with the defense the Blue Jays play, they could finally get some run from the Dodgers to come in. What about you,
Yeah.
man? Do you think the Mariners still bring us some type of pressure for this Dodgers team?
Dude, I'm gonna go back to the inconsistency, and I'm not picking the Mariners to have a better matchup against the Dodgers. I'm picking the Blue Jays because they do have a better matchup, and they do feel like they can go ahead and match up with their lineup. And pitching, I feel a little. I don't know if I feel comfortable with the Blue Jays facing the Dodgers, but I don't feel comfortable with the Mariners pitching either because they're taxed right now. They had that long 15 inning series with the Tigers. They went into this series tired, but they had good momentum. They won the first 2 games, but now I'm seeing their fatigue. I saw it today, dude. Logan Gilbert,
Yeah,
he didn't have it. He didn't wasn't throwing all that hard today, and the Blue Jays were
not at
catching
all.
up. So I just feel like the Blue Jays have a better suited lineup and a better pitching matchup and better bullpen than what the Mariners have. And I could be wrong. At the end of the day, tomorrow, if the Mariners win and then they take off to the World Series and they match up and they go to the game 7, we'll be talking about it here again and saying, hey, we picked it wrong. But as of right now, what I'm seeing is that Blue Jays are a little bit better match versus the Dodgers than the Mariners are. So if Gossman is one of the pitchers I wanted to mention for the Blue Jays, he is 2-3 against the Dodgers. But every time I see him pitch against the Dodgers, I feel like he dominates them, dude. And that's a pitcher that if
Yeah.
they've advanced to the next part, which is the World Series, I think they're going to pitch him game 1. And if it gets further, it'll be in game 5 and possibly game 7. So that's one of the guys you got to look at. And I think that that's one of the guys that I'm kind of scared as a Dodger fan because of that guy, knowing that he can go ahead and dominate. His ERA is 3.57, but then let that number fool you because there's been other teams without Shohei that he's dominated, and he knows the Dodgers. He pitched for the Giants. He definitely don't like the Dodgers. Another thing that I want to mention is that the Blue Jays don't like the Dodgers because of Shohei Ohtani. Remember, Shohei Ohtani was a lot of rumors that he was going to go to Toronto, and in the end of the day, there was supposed to be a freaking flight going out there to meet up with them and stuff like that. And those rumors felt, I don't know who made them up, or if
that was wild
true,
times,
right? So all those fans are waiting for those boos and everything to happen with Shohei Ohtani. So
yes.
It's just going to be one of those matches where if the Blue Jays make it, I think they have a shot. And with the Mariners, I just feel like they're tired, dude. They're tired. They are tired.
Yeah.
And
if you ask most of the MLB fans, they're gonna say the Dodgers are gonna win it. Everybody's like, man, who's beating this Dodgers team? They're loaded. There's nobody stands a chance against them. But there's that one team. It's the Blue Jays. Like you said, all the things you just mentioned. Kevin Gossman, that he pitches great with against the Dodgers. I can't wait to see Trey Savage pitch that nasty splitter against that Dodgers, which they've never seen that type of kind of delivery. The last guy they seen something similar to that was Justin Verlander. Let me know how they really did against him. Not so great.
No.
And now you got to have Toronto, and they're only going to have the home field advantage. That's 4 games that could be played in Toronto, and that does not benefit the Dodgers whatsoever. A lot of people think it's just because you're going to play 3, game 4, game 5 at home, you have that edge as long as you steal 1 on the road. That doesn't mean crap in baseball because that game 6 and 7 means the most for these players. Look at what's happening right now with the Mariners. With the momentum going into game 7, this Blue Jays team just feels comfortable, energy. They got the crowd behind their back. Who's going to stop them? And with this Blue Jays team, they're just one of the teams that could get a lot of base hits and get into base and put into that pressure. And if you know Blake Snell, he likes to walk a lot of guys. And the moment he starts getting a little bit inconsistent, he gets out of his mojo, that guy will struggle. And so does Yamamoto. The
Yeah.
moment they give something up, they lose control. So that's my biggest concern. And I feel like the Blue Jays is the only team that could bring that pressure.
Yeah, it's just that inconsistency with the Mariners and the inconsistency of the freaking Toronto Blue Jays that they're just better suited for it. I mean, Blake Snell and Yamamoto have been pitching a lot better this season. I mean, this
Props to
playoffs,
them. Credit to them.
except Yamamoto. I think Yamamoto didn't pitch good with against Philadelphia, but I guess the series against the Brewers, they pitched both. I guess all four of them pitched really good against the Brewers, but. I was when I was watching that series, I wasn't really into it, invested that way. I think for the Dodgers, the best series that they had was against the Phillies, and that was only game 4 for me. I mean, I know how it sounds. It sounds like, oh man, this guy thinks the Dodgers are going to take it all the way. It's just, I don't know. I saw this Brewers team and I felt a little bad because it's like, okay,
Yeah, poor
they
team,
look,
man. They just
yeah,
they
yeah.
looked
I
defeated.
don't
They
know how to
had
put it, dude.
nothing. They had
Yeah,
nothing for the Dodgers. Everything they tried just couldn't seem to work their way. It felt like everything was just going to Dodgers perfection. And it was just like Pat Murphy was just like, okay, what other move can I make in his lineup card that could make some difference? Nothing really
yeah.
helped. Christian
No.
Yelich is just past his prime now, and he's just with a bunch of young kids that have never been at this big moment like that. So they just fell short. It's a great start for this Brewers team, regardless. They just got to finally start grooming their young kids, and hopefully the Mr. Roski becomes that 1A that gonna have forever with Freddie Peralta, that 1-2 punch, and hopefully find another ace in there that could be dangerous for the future. Well, they do have Brandon Woodruff. It's just if he's healthy, man,
He's
that
healthy.
Brewers
He's
team would have been
healthy.
perfect to go against the Dodgers. I
Yeah.
think they just lost momentum going there, but then this Dodgers team was just hitting in the right places. Now, this Blue Jays team, I just want to go back to this. I've seen Shohei Ohtani pitch against the Blue Jays firsthand. I got to see when he was with the Angels. I sat front row. If you ever want to watch it on YouTube, I'm there behind the seats behind
Oh, is that the
Shohei.
game? Is that the
That's
game?
the game. Shohei pitched against the Blue Jays. I just want to throw that. George Springer and Vladdy Guerrero went deep on him that day. So they have seen Shohei in the past. They know him from Anaheim, and they have rocked him in the past. So let's just say that Shohei is a different beast now when he's in the mounds. For some reason, when he wears that blue Dodger uniform, he becomes another guy. But right now, Shohei is living his best life. I'm that Angel fan that's happy for him. I just want to throw that out there. He deserves it all. He's the greatest player. He was never going to achieve what he's achieving now with the Angels, just based on ownership. Unfortunately, our owner in the Angels just does not want to spend the right money for their players. Shohei came back with the same contract the Dodgers offered. Artie Moreno was like, nah, I can't pay you that.
Yeah.
That's your loss, bro. Like, the guy's going to go to the crosstown rival and get his money and going to go to get some championships. Why not? You would have done the same thing for your career. So when I see all these Angel fans upset about Shohei leaving, you cannot be mad. You would have done the same thing if another job offered you more money and was going to guarantee you some championships. Right?
Since we're on that subject, exactly. Since we're on that subject, we have a little bit of time. I wanted to ask you, like, do you think that because of all this is happening with the Dodgers, that it's not good for baseball? You saw Dave Roberts come out and he said, let's win 4 more so we can ruin baseball, and definitely ruin baseball. Are you on that train, or are you on the train like, you know what? They went ahead and they paid the man. They went ahead and got other players, and then there's players that want to go play in LA, right? Because of how their farm system, how their system works. So we're talking about, even going into a strike in 2027. And that's a potential strike that we might even miss out on these, golden years of Ohtani. We're probably, baseball has these, reputation of going into these strikes for a year, 2 years. And sometimes we don't get back in until later on. And then that's when we lose these superstars. So a lot of people are complaining about it. So what side are you on, man? Are you on the side of them doing it, having no salary cap, or having a salary cap in the future?
Look, man, at the end of the day, I don't give a crap. They probably are going to bring the salary cap. There's going to be a lockout. It's just these owners are upset that the Dodgers are going to continuously win. They don't want to see no type of dynasty taking over. So the salary cap is coming. Now, these teams just got to spend some money, man. It's crazy to me how these owners let these star players walk out and not pay them. We have a perfect example right now with Tarek Skubal and the Detroit Tigers. This guy deserves all the money he wants. He has to be the top highest pitcher going forward. And this Tigers team can't seem to figure out how they're going to pay him. how the heck do you have a back-to-back Cy Young and you're not going to pay the guy what he deserves? I just can't understand that, Carlos. And my question is like, how the heck are you an owner of a sports team if you can't afford these players? You know, especially with the best pitcher in the league, like Tarek Schoolboy, and you see what he did this postseason, how dominant he was. This guy deserves it all. And Paul Skeens is coming up. He's going to have to get paid too. Don't tell me this ownership, Bob, I can't think of his last name, he's probably going to let him walk too. And you're going to be like, what the heck are these guys doing? I just can't believe it continuously happens every year with these star players. And I'm just disappointed with the ownership. I think if you're not, there has to be some type of salary floor. These owners have to spend a certain amount of money or else you can't own the team. MLB has to take over. So I'm sure this lockout is coming, but I don't think the Dodgers care. The Dodgers are going to win the next 2 championships, and we'll be like, we're the 3-time champ. We got our championships. We could lock it out. We could get a little bit more rest so we could come back and be like the Jordan of this era where you win 3, take 2 years off, and win 3 more again. Why not?
I just hope it doesn't happen though. Like I don't, because we're experiencing something that's no one has ever experienced. Was Babe Ruth this good? Was he this really good? Like, was he one of those players that like, damn, 3 home runs in one game, 10 strikeouts in one game in a playoff game, and hit it outside the freaking stadium too. You know, I know that iconic Babe Ruth call that he called out his home run and he hit it out. This was basically that. When he hit it out of the stadium, I'm like, God damn, this guy hit it out of the freaking stadium.
Yep.
How the hell did he do that in a playoff game?
You know who's going to do that next?
Right? Like, it's just,
what other player thinks going to do that next? Vladdy Guerrero's going to hit it out the Dodger Stadium. And you know,
you think so?
Why not?
You think so?
That guy hits it hard.
I don't know. We're gonna have to wait, man. Let me see. CVLA said that we cannot let Springer beat us again. He did beat us in 2017.
I got a question for you guys. All right. I want to bring it out. Anybody in the chat? Does George Springer, do you forgive him for all he did? Can you bypass everything he went with the Astros team? Now he's in a Blue Jays team. He's moved on. Respect his game the way he's been performing this postseason.
Me personally, no, I'm not, because he was part of that 2017. What? Everybody that's been part of that 2017 team is kind of, to me, it's an asterisk player. They shouldn't deserve to be playing like they are now. Why? Because, dude, I've told you my reasons. I've told you what happened in my life to where I celebrated with my brother, and then that was the only time I got to do that with him. You know, and they didn't win the World Series. And after that, I didn't have my brother, you know, so that really hurt. So I hold all these players accountable for that shit, you know. So it's like, if you talk to other Dodger fans, I'm pretty sure they have their own stories that they're going to tell you and say, you know what? No, man, they
look at the chat. Look at the chat. It's all no. That's why I still boo him. No, heck no. The chat is agreeing with you in this one, Carlos. I was wondering that today. You know, poor George Springer. He's been having a heck of a postseason. It's been 4 or 5 years since he's been out of that Astro team. Can the Dodger fans finally forgive him? Because if he's in this World Series one more time against the Dodgers, I don't know how these Dodger fans are going to take it, man. I'm like, can we just let it go already? No, we can't let it go.
We're still gonna boo him. No, we're still gonna boo him. Why? Because, like I said, everybody has their own personal stories, their own personal thing with that game and with that World Series title. And dude, there's a lot of people that still have that wound open. Even though the Dodgers won it in 2020, they won it last year, and then they're in the World Series this year. They've been in the World Series 5 times, you know, since 2017. And, you know, it's still there. It's still there because everybody felt that team was the team, you know, that should have won the World Series. And, you know, like I said, I don't know. Everybody has their personal stories on why they don't like him. And he's still going to get booed. And he's going to get booed more than any other Blue Jay if the Blue Jays move on to the next step, which is the World Series. So
that's pretty interesting because I've been watching him lately. And I'm like, man, this guy's had a great postseason. He's not that same type of guy as he was once with the Astros. I feel like he's changed his maturity. His personality's kind of been more laid back. He wants to win. I think he wants to forget about that Astros team and just wants to start a new, fresh start with this Blue Jays team, being partnered well with Vladdy and Bo Bichette. But it seems like these Dodger fans are never going to forgive him. And based on the comments going on right now, these people are pissed. I'm just saying nobody wants to forgive George Springer out there. So it's pretty interesting, man. I'm pretty shocked that these people are still mad, but you know, it's cool. I just wanted to ask that, man.
You have a question
I
right
didn't
here,
mean to
man.
make. I didn't mean to. How would you feel if they did your Angels like that? You know, we're a part of the. I mean, we're in the same division. I'm pretty sure the Astros did it all year round. So I think the whole 29 other MLB teams were also cheated on. I just feel
Yeah,
like the Dodgers felt it the most because it happened in the most biggest stage of the moment, World Series. And as an
yeah.
Angel fan that's in the same division as the Astros, we were also affected by it. So
I think yeah,
it sucks, man.
every
We
team
were
was.
all screwed by this Astros team.
Yeah, every team felt it, and not only that, there was players that got sent down to the minors because of that. There was players that had to retire because of the beating they got from the Astros. There was players that couldn't even make it back to an MLB team because of that. So all those factors and everything that's happening, it brings me back to this question, Ernie. If we're trying to forgive the Astros, why can't we forgive the Dodgers for deferring these payments, deferring all these contracts for players? There's a lot of energy going into the Dodgers, winning and all these World Series, having these great players. But no one talked about the Astros in 17 when it happened. Well, what I said, they got exposed in 2019 or
Yes.
2020, right? So that same energy wasn't there. It was only there when we found out about it, and that's when it really hurt, and it hurt every fan doing it. And I was like, man, they should have got more penalized than what they did. They all got immunity, and nothing happened. It was like a slap in the face. And we're
Nothing
still talking
happened.
about it. What the hell?
Still. So I
Yeah.
have a question for you. Is the Dodgers a dynasty now? Would you consider the Dodgers a dynasty?
Do I consider it a dynasty? Um, they have to win this year. They have to win this year. They have to win this year.
Hey,
And
it's 5 World Series in 9 years. 5 World Series in 9 years is an impressive feat. No
it
matter what
is.
happened, if you put 2017 there, had they not been cheated, you talk about Dodgers having another World Series. So for me, you
Yeah.
got to give them a dynasty because they have been in the mix of these postseason year in and year out. They're always fighting for that World Series, and poor Padres fans can't even see their team make it thanks to the Dodgers. So the Dodgers are a dynasty.
I think if they win it this year, they are become a more solidified dynasty. And you're right, dude. 5 World Series in 9 years. What is that? 5 pennants. They won 5
Yeah,
National League pennants. That's not easy to get either. So I think this would just solidify it right now. If they would have not even made it to the World Series, I think we would have been talking about they spend the most money in the world to try to get these players, and they didn't make it to the World Series. It would have been a different story, right? But right now, since they made it to the World Series, and depending on if they win, I think they'll become a more solidified dynasty team. So
definitely.
it was yeah, dude. The conversation is really good. We had a good time here, man. You got
It's just
anything else
crazy.
before we? Yeah, right.
I just wanted to add one more thing. This Dodger team, even though they won a World Series in 2020, they just continue to get better every single year. It's like they're missing a piece. They go out and get another piece that makes them better. I mean, they did go get Tanner Scott. Michael Conforto didn't really work out so far, but they go get the pieces they need. They need a left-handed bat. They go find them. They need a
Yeah,
bullpen guy, a closer. They'll go find them. Andrew Freeman's not scared to make the call and make the moves, and that's why this Dodgers team has been impressive. For the free agency market hit, we were like, this Dodgers team's going to make it already. We were like, they're going to win. Why even
yeah,
watch baseball? And then we did watch baseball, and the Dodgers sucked for the most part of the year. And we saw the Angels sweep them twice. The Brewers swept them twice. And we were
yeah,
like, this Dodgers team just does not have it this year. It
yeah.
was just out of fluke. They didn't care what we thought. They were just cruising. Remember,
They were
this is a
cruising.
long season. When it
Yeah,
really matters, they showed up. And
yeah.
you got to give props to the Dodgers. That's what you need to do. And
But the
man, they're the
season's not
hottest team.
over.
The
The
season's not
season's not
over.
over.
I mean,
No.
everybody's giving the edge to the Dodgers. I would say at least 80%, maybe less, but most of the people will say the Dodgers are going to win the World Series this year, and they're going to be a dynasty.
I,
Even
I,
though even though Shohei is only going to win 2 World Series so far, that's still a dynasty with Mookie and Freddie. That's
yeah,
still 3 under their bag. So that is a
yeah,
dynasty. It's just like Kevin Durant joining the Warriors after they won. That's a Shohei coming to the Dodgers.
yeah. You're right. You're right. They still haven't won it. You know me, Ernie. I don't like to count my chips before like I even get them. I want to make sure they win that last game, that last out, and then I can say, all right, cool, they won. But for right now, I can't say, oh, they're the winners. Like, no, on paper you can say all that stuff, but I don't like to do that. I don't know why. I guess
You're still
I'm super.
scared. Just be honest. You're
I
still
think so. I
scared.
think that's what it is. And I'm always been like that. I've never been like a person that feels super confident in my team and say, yeah, they got it all. Even though this team looked really, really good in this playoffs, I still feel like there's that 1% of me
And,
that feels,
and let me
I
tell you
don't
this.
know.
You watched these 4 games and you saw how dominant the Dodgers were against the Brewers. But this didn't feel like it felt weird to you, right? You're not used to
It's
winning the
super weird.
season.
Super weird. It's super weird. It didn't feel like, okay, last year because the 2020 World Series, they said, oh, it's a Mickey Mouse ring. And then last year was like, okay, it was a full season. They got through, they played the Yankees, and it was like, man, that felt great. This year, we'll see what happens in the World Series, and then I can give you my personal opinion. But yeah, these freaking 4 games that just passed against the Brewers, they won. They're going to the World Series. But did I celebrate? Not really. I was more like, okay, they're moving on. I think the Dodgers felt the same way. They didn't celebrate like they usually do. They jump on the field and, all that stuff. I guess it's that Kobe mentality, that Black Mamba saying, hey, we haven't won yet. We have to go ahead and win the rest of the games, which is 4 more. Maria saying, are the 90s Braves a dynasty? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. Why? Because they won 11 in a row division titles. They won 4 National League pennants, and they won one World Series. That had never been done until the Braves did it in the 90s. So now the Dodgers are doing it, and if by that feat that the Braves did it, of course I'm saying that the Dodgers are dynasty. But I think it just solidify it with that extra World Series title. But Ernie, do you feel the same way?
You got to give credit to the Braves. They were one of the most dominant teams in the 90s. They owned the NL pennant for 4 times. That's impressive to do at that time when baseball was not that easy. They had some tough luck, and it happens. At least they were the second best team in the Major League Baseball for the 90s for most of the time.
Yeah. So, we seen CVLA saying Embellinger's coming back next season. I don't know. I think there's gonna be Tucker talks, but that's next year, and we don't want to talk about that stuff because there's gonna be more angry baseball fans out there. Why are the Dodgers trying to get more, top stars and stuff like that? So, I do want to say though that the deferred payments got changed in the 2001 era. Why? Because the Diamondbacks could not play their players when they had their players there. We're talking about Luis Gonzalez. We're talking about players like Schilling, Randy Johnson. They couldn't pay them. So what happened? MLB went and had a meeting, and they've made it to where, okay, we can defer payments and make sure that those players get paid. So because of the Diamondbacks, the deferred payment happened. So don't be mad at the Dodgers. Be mad at the Diamondbacks for that. So Bobby Bonilla Day is July 1st every year until 2043, I believe.
Yes.
So
Everybody's going to
that's
defer payment. If you don't
yeah,
know a
yeah,
player with a big contract that's no longer playing, they're on the deferred payment. I
yeah,
mean, who
yeah,
who wouldn't do that either? If your
yeah.
job offer you, hey, Carlos, it's time to step down, but I'm gonna pay you $1 million every year. Heck yeah,
Do
I'll
it,
take
do
it.
it. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right, dude.
Nothing about ties.
Right. All right. We reached that point in time. It was so many conversations on here. We had a lot of good time. And dude, last mentions.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for keeping up with the chat and answering to all our questions we had going on. We really appreciate all the love you guys give us. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We hope to get on this week for a midweek special to give you guys our World Series preview, World Series predictions here on Real Talk Baseball. Make sure to hit that have that bell button to be notified when we go live in this midweek. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I got for you, Carlos.
All right. So, dude, let's try to get on Thursday if you can, or Wednesday, one of those 2 days, so we can give our predictions and we could talk about the matchup. Game 7 is tomorrow. If you guys are planning to just chill and not do anything, tune into the game, watch it, and come back on either Wednesday or Thursday. We'll post it on here to see what day we get on, give our predictions, and I promise we're gonna have a good show just like we did today, laughter and all that stuff. Yeah, that's what we are. We do go on every Sunday. We weren't gonna get on today, Ernie, because I messed up. I thought we were like, okay, we want to have the Game 7, right?
Aaron Judge wanted to come. What you mean? Aaron Judge wants to be part of the show too, man. Before the veneers,
here, dude. He's still here, so we're good, dude.
He's gonna be part of your background. I'm sorry, Aaron Judge has to make the cut on the background.
We'll change it up for next year. We'll have him back there. I'll try to see if I can get another mask somewhere out here and put it back there in the back so we can, have more baseball players. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing love and putting comments on here. That's what our show is about. We love when you guys put out there all those comments, because that brings, our baseball knowledge to a different level. It gives us more inspiration to talk more about baseball. And this is what we are. We're fans of the game, and we do root for teams, but I think we're baseball fans first, and then we're our team fans second. So I'll leave it at that. From all of us here on Real Talk Baseball and Carlos Baseball, this is Ernie Orange. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.